Alright. No face here. Got a request for a tutorial on a PRISM live setup. Now, I'm by no means good at doing tutorials. So, firstly, you're going to want to go there right there. That's PRISM Live's website. Now, they are a fork of OBS, the same as Stream Elements is, but they've done their own stuff. Like implementing all the plugins that one would normally go grab and do in OBS themselves. One of the major ones and kind of their selling point, the one that got me sold on it, is the ability to multi-stream to multiple platforms out of it. And surprisingly, it doesn't significantly impact my GPU performance. Now, that could just be my experience, but you want to go ahead and download that, get that installed. Once you do that, go through the install procedures, you'll be greeted with this screen. So you can go ahead and log in with any of your major socials that you use, or you can just log in with an email, or you can sign up, however you want to do it. It's up to you. I'm going to set up a new one to show you the full setup experience. So to do that, we're first going to do this. Huzzah. Enjoy the artwork. And you'll be greeted with this screen. Go ahead and close that again. Once you close that, my recommendation, first thing to do, come up here, hit this little hamburger menu. We're going to go down to settings and settings. We're going to go to visual and go all the way down. And this little scenes list thing. So this right here corresponds to this. So what you do here affects the way that that is displayed. So if you have it on real-time screen, then every scene that you have in here, let me move this so you can see. So every scene that you have in here would be rendered in real time, doing everything that it would normally do with all its effects and filters and everything. Makes it really fast if you need to switch to it, but realistically, it just eats up a lot of system resources that you don't need to give to it. I generally just leave it on text. As long as you name your scenes well, then you really realistically shouldn't have too much of an issue that way. I also disable this. That's up to you. It is nice to show support for the developers, but I do that by tagging them in the videos that I make with it. So how you choose to do that is up to you, but that's my preferred method. So here's going to be your output resolution for everything that you're streaming to. If you're going to use the multi-streaming from it, which is what I use it for, I change to Lanczos, and all my stuff's locked at 60 anyways, so I just leave my FPS at 60 because that's what I game at. From here, I open up the advanced tab so I can see a little bit more about what I'm doing. These will be relative to the hardware that you run. So your encoder options are up to you. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you will have different options here. Now, what I feel like I was saying and forgot to mention about multi-streaming to multiple platforms, there are limits. The limit output multi-streaming to multiple platforms is 1920 by 1080, so you're limited to 1080p. The bitrate, I leave at 6000. I don't really mess with it. Keyframes, I put to 2. This is going to be dependent on the hardware that you have. I just leave these on default and it works for me. So that stays on very fast, high. I do automatically record when streaming, so that way I have a recorded version of everything that I stream. I don't currently use the replay buffer, although I do need to start. The retry delay is how fast it's going to try to reconnect if you get disconnected from your stream. Generally, I want this to go pretty fast, so I set it at 4. 20 is probably good. I set mine at 25. Seemed like a good number. Click apply. So if we scroll back up and then come down to the output settings, we're going to go to the recording thing. This is where you would set your recording path and the format that you are going to record your videos in. You may like one of these other video formats better, and they may be recognized by your editing software better. But MKV is the only one out of this format that will not corrupt if for some reason your recording software crashes. So just leave that on MKV and you'll be much happier if something does go wrong. Audio is going to be up to you. I just bump everything up to 320 kilobits because that's what, as long as you are only running it on one track, Twitch can take 320 kilobit audio. It's whenever you are running 2-track audio out that it will only take 160. And YouTube's taken 320 forever now. So as long as you're only running one track out, there's no reason not to run 320. Okay, so from there, we're going to go out to your audio. I don't mess with that. Your monitoring device is going to be if you need to hear what is actually coming out on the opposite end. So basically, if you need to hear the stream version of what's going on, this is where you would set that output device. So this is going to be where you're actually going to deal with a lot of the visual aspect here. This is where you're going to set the resolution that you generally work with. 3840 by 2160 is my screen size. That's what I game at, so I leave it at that. And then we output, so it downscales it at 1080 because that's the limit that everyone's allowed to multi-stream out of this program. Color format, just leave it NV12. And click apply. I like source snapping, so I leave it on. I don't like it to be crazy sensitive, so I put it at 4. If you have the hardware for it, just leave the hardware acceleration on. Again, that's dependent on the hardware that you have. That's going to be your most basic setup for getting all your settings done. And then the rest of it works just like OBS, realistically. You have your scene collection over here. You just click and add your scenes and you can swap between them. You have your source selection over here. And then you can take this, just the same as you do in OBS, and fit to screen. And then, boom, transfer it out. This is in studio mode. I don't really work in studio mode. To turn that off, just come there. So then you're always working on your live version. That's preference, up to you. However you like to work. Stretch that to screen so we got something nice to work with there. We have our audio mixer here. So you can see down here we have our output settings. We have our CPU usage, our GPU usage, frame drop rate, the bit rates. If you click down over here, you can actually get a pop-up that will give you a lot more information. To add any channels that you may actually stream to, super easy. You just click up here, boom. Log in, you're done. It does not have native integration for Trovo. You can, however, add any other ones that you like if they are not up here. You just click there, go to add. Gives you their full list. It's the same ones that's up here. For example, anybody else that you may use like Trovo, you just add a custom RTMP. User input. Put your URL there, your stream key there, your other stuff. And then you click OK and it would pop up there as whatever you named it. I learned a lot from Apos Fox, the stream professor, who I will link in the video description below. So be sure to check out his channel and a lot of his videos. He is an excellent teacher and is way more knowledgeable about OBS settings than me. That's 2 channels that are going to be linked down in the description below. That is Michael Farrer Jr. and then that is Apos Fox. Apos Fox is Stream Professor. His tutorials are phenomenal, and I highly recommend you check out his channel and watch his videos. Michael Farrer Jr., his channel is where I learned about PRISM Live, and it's what convinced me to actually make the switch because I wanted the multi-stream capability, and that's the major selling point of PRISM is their multi-stream capabilities. Their channels will be linked in the description down below. If you enjoyed the video or you found the tutorial helpful at all, a like, comment, and subscribe would be excellent. And ring that little bell so you get notified when a new video drops or I go live streaming something. So keep an eye out and look out for more. Thanks for watching. This is No Face.